What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning back in. Kevin Duffy here. So we're going to do a rundown of what I call the Big Four, the trailers that dropped over this weekend at San Diego Comic-Con. Now, there's a whole bunch of cool content that came out of San Diego Comic-Con, but for me, there were 4 clear trailers that were just stood out among the rest, and they got me the most hyped for the next movie. Now, the list I'm going to give you is the way that these movies, to me, get me the more hyped for the movie to come out. So, there's no bearing on how the movies are going to do, or how great I think the final product will be. But I'm planning on seeing all of them in theaters regardless. It's just which movie in the order got me the most hyped to go and see this movie when it comes out. So, right off the bat, I'm going to say the one that got me exactly the least hyped, I should say, but that's not even a bad thing, because really these all got me so hyped for the movies. But I can't wait to see Glass. Glass, I was excited for it anyways. I was a big fan of Split, huge fan of Unbreakable. So the tie-in at the end of Split, that Bruce Willis's character is in the same universe as the Beast, or the Horde, whatever you want to call him, the character from Split. I couldn't wait to see it. I was like, oh my god, this is such a good tie-in. M. Night Shyamalan's, 50-50 on his movies, I think. I actually did a list the other day where I was running through his films, and I think he actually is 50-50 exactly with his films. So hopefully this is one of the ones that gets him trending in the right direction after Split. But yeah, I'm very excited for that movie. The trailer looks really cool. I like the idea that it seems like in this film, Mr. Glass, Samuel L. Jackson's character, is trying to manipulate it so that the rest of the world realizes that superheroes exist, which is interesting because in the first film it was just him trying to find his opposite. If he's such a breakable person and he's so evil and not good, there has to be someone out there who's equally good and unbreakable, and that's the basic plot of the first movie. And then Split obviously introduced this whole psyche of someone with split personalities, that each of the personalities is different, and then one of them happens to have supernatural abilities as a result of the interchanging of his, personalities. So it was really cool to see at the end of that the tie-in with Bruce Willis, and this trailer looks really good. I like that it shows the different facets of their lives. Like it shows how each of them impact different people, and clearly looks like Samuel L. Jackson and the Horde are going to be teaming up to try and do something horrible to the world, and it's going to fall on Bruce Willis's shoulders to save him. Bruce Willis hasn't had a great track record as of late with movies either, so it's good to see him fall back into, a hero role that you can really get behind. And it looks like he's not phoning it in like he has been in recent years. So I'm really excited for Glass, and it was a really good trailer. I've watched it a dozen times since it came out. My wife actually surprisingly loved Split. I can't get her to watch Unbreakable with me. I don't know why, but I'm gonna try to get her to watch it because she likes Split, and I think she'll like Glass if we went and saw it in theater. So, fingers crossed I can get her on board with watching that movie, and then wanting to go and see Glass. But next up, after Glass, it's got to be the Shazam trailer. I didn't know they were dropping a Shazam trailer. I mean, they only recently started filming, so for them to have, it wasn't a fantastic trailer. It didn't have like crazy special effects or crazy fight scenes or anything like that. But my God, did they nail the character of Shazam perfectly, or what? That guy, Zachary Levi, who's playing him, like everybody out there's throwing the throwing the comparison to Big out there, because it seems like it's just going to be Big with superheroes. That should literally be one of the slogans of the posters of the movies. That would get me to see it anyways. There are a bunch of people, but anyways, it seems like that they really are nailing this idea that Billy Batson is a kid who gets these superhero powers and becomes an adult. Because what would you do? Well, you'd act the way that he does. I like that in all the promotional work you've seen so far, you see him with like big gulps, or you see him just kind of goofing off. And that's what you do. That's what you do if you were a child who got superhero powers. So, but I think they really nailed the tone you need to get with Shazam. Obviously, DC has had quite a up and down. In my opinion, I think Man of Steel, I think Wonder Woman, and that's really it. I think those are the only 2 really good movies that they've done. I know that a lot of people don't even love Man of Steel. A lot of people, it's a very controversial film for fans of Superman, but for me, I thought Man of Steel was great. Wonder Woman's fantastic. The rest of them are pretty terrible. So for them to course, I know that this is the year they're planning the real course correct, and it seems like Shazam's going to nail it. I love that in the trailer you see all these hints to the other heroes. You see the Batman throwing star on the Batarang, I guess you call it, but you see that on display in the orphanage home, or the foster home that Billy gets brought into. You see the Superman, it looks like a bullet that's been stopped, and it's got a certificate of authenticity saying that it actually hits Superman, which is pretty funny. And then you see all these news clippings about Superman. So it's pretty cool. And I guess there's rumor that Henry Cavill's actually been on set. So I think it'd be pretty sweet if in this film, as Shazam starts doing these heroic things to save people, if maybe Superman shows up just to, like, I mean, like a fight would be cool, but even just to show up and mentor this kid for, like, even just one scene would be fantastic, because it's clearly going to be an inspiration to Shazam's character, that Superman that lives, you know, Superman exists in that world, so it's going to be pretty cool. Obviously they didn't get into Mark Strong's bad guy, but you know, again, they just started filming this film, so. But I think they nailed it. I think that scene at the end where he's testing his powers and he's seeing what he can do is just unbelievable. When he gets hit with the bullets and he realizes he's also bulletproof like Superman, and then he just throws those two robbers out the window. It's such a kid thing. It's such a kid thing. Like, you're dead when he realizes that he's got him, and then he leaves the store with a 6-pack of soda and he's walking out and he's like, sorry for the window, you know, but at least you didn't get robbed. That's what kids would do. So I think they really nailed the tone, and I'm very excited to see Shazam. Right on the heels of Shazam, another DC film that dropped this weekend is Aquaman, and this trailer was freaking epic. Friggin' epic. The only reason this didn't take my #1 spot is because I already expected this to be epic. James Wan for weeks has been saying, or months has been saying, I'm not dropping a trailer until I get the special effects right. I'm not going to drop the trailer until I can show you guys what this movie's going to be. And I think that was a very smart move, because this trailer freaking killed at Comic-Con. Killed. But since I already knew that this trailer was going to be epic, it didn't get me more hype for this movie, you know? That's why it comes in at #3 on my list, rather, or I guess #2. #2 on my list rather than #1. But man, it's freaking awesome. I love the tone. I love the special effects look fantastic. I love seeing the different creatures that are going to be underwater. You know, you see the Fisherman King. His special effects look awesome. His not special effects. His character design, the makeup and the costume that they got him in. Then it shows the trench people. Oh my God, those things look terrifying. Like, I know James Wan's a horror director, but he's really tapping into all facets of his ability, because those things look fantastic and they look terrifying. Seeing Aquaman and Merritt jump off that boat with all those things around, like, those things are freaking terrifying. Like, it looks amazing. And obviously, like, actors don't phone it in James Wan films. You know, Patrick Wilson? Yeah, it is Patrick Wilson. For some reason I just thought that was wrong because I was thinking Beach Boys, but anyways, the Aquaman trailer looks fantastic. Everything about it looks fantastic. They seem to have nailed this tone with Arthur Curry, that he is this, you know, carefree kind of beach bum, which is great, but then you can tell that in this film he's going to have to step into the role of more of a hero and become the king of Atlantis to stop this war in the Seven Kingdoms. But I think it looks awesome. They really freaking nailed the tone, and I have nothing but faith in James Wan. I think this is the year. These next two films are going to be the turnaround for DC. I truly believe that Shazam and Aquaman comes out first, is really going to set the tone that these are the movies you need to make from now on. These are the movies you need to make. Focus on the hero stories first, and then, you know, we can talk about coming back to Justice League later. You know, there's plenty of Justice League movies out there, or comics out there, that you can jump to for the arc that you want to go for these characters. You know, so just stay away from the full-on ensemble films. You can have a couple characters pop up here and there. Nail Aquaman, nail Shazam, nail Wonder Woman 84 coming out. I think that's next year too, or is it 2020? Whatever. You get those three right, give us a Man of Steel 2, and then bam, you guys are on the right track, in my opinion. So it was a really fantastic Comic-Con for DC. They really nailed it. Marvel not showing up was honestly huge for them, because if Marvel even dropped a little bit of a trailer for, you know, for Captain Marvel or something, it might be getting all the attention. But as it stands, DC fucking they crushed, man. They crushed. They were so good. So I'm very excited for those two films. Finally, the final trailer they dropped, they got me the most hyped for the movie coming out. And this is, again, like, I was already hyped for Aquaman. Aquaman realistically should have taken #1 for me. But since I really didn't have any expectations and think that this trailer was going to drop, when Godzilla King of Monsters trailer came out, whoo, my God, they really nailed it. I loved the 2014 Godzilla movie, you know? It has problems, sure, but I loved Godzilla films since I was a little kid. So to see that character brought back to life on the big scale, like with good CGI, and like they actually stuck to the original character design. You know, obviously they made him bigger. They call him, what they call him, Necklace Godzilla, because he's so bulky. But I liked it. I liked that they went with unknown monsters for the first movie, because this is the movie that you want right here. Now you've established this Godzilla, and now you don't have to do any backstory for Godzilla. You literally just need to dive into this movie and let these monsters run free. I mean, right off the bat, you know it's a good tone. Millie Bobby Brown, the girl that plays Eleven on Stranger Things, being the main character of this film, it's genius. She's a great actress, you know, and it's crazy to say that about a little kid. And obviously there's throwbacks to Stranger Things in this big time. She almost has the exact same outfit that Eleven does in season 2 of Stranger Things. Same haircut, but you can't blame the haircut. She had to shave her head for the first season of Stranger Things. Her hair's obviously growing back in, but man, she looks like she's gonna nail this role. And they definitely went a better route with getting character actors you can care, well, not character actors, just actors you can care about, you know. Via Farmiga, also a James Wan classic. She's in all the Conjuring films. She's a great actress, great delivery lines. So she plays Millie Bobby Brown's mother, and she looks like she works for Monarch, studying these creatures. And apparently she's got some kind of thing where she, using sound, she can communicate with they call them the Titans in the movie, which I like, because honestly that is kind of what they would be. But just great, the scale, the music choice for the movie was fantastic. This, you know, big epic like orchestral thing. I mean, shit, when you see Mothra behind that little waterfall just spreading its wings, and the light from its wings, and the way it illuminates that cavern that he's in, it looks fantastic. It looks so good. And then you see like Rodan pop out of the volcano, and he's got a little bit of fire going on with him, which is pretty cool. I didn't think that was anything Rodan ever had. But just the scope of him flying over that city, and just the power of his wings causing that entire city just to, you know, get destroyed by his hurricane gust winds, is fantastic. And then you get the little teases of King Ghidorah, who obviously is the main antagonist of the film, I would imagine. He has to be. He's been like Godzilla's #1 enemy since like the 3rd or 4th Godzilla film, I believe. And for them to get that character right, because let's be honest, that character has never looked cool. Like, everybody likes him, like the design of the character is interesting, but he's never looked cool. And I know that they're going to go in and retool this character in a way that he actually becomes a menacing threat. I mean, seeing wires moving the freaking heads has always been pretty lame. So to see CGI creatures with competent, like, being able to control each of the heads being controlled is going to be fantastic. I literally, it's going to be so menacing, and I can't wait for this film to drop. And Godzilla obviously looks awesome. So, and I love that they're leaning hard on him being the hero character again. As much as I like, you know, classic Godzilla rampaging through the city as the way to teach man not to fuck around with nuclear technology and stuff like that, I'm a bigger fan of Godzilla being the hero character, because it leads you to root for the character, which is, I know it's stupid, it's a monster who, he doesn't have any emotion, he doesn't have anything like that, so why are you rooting for him? But you want to root for your hero character in the film, and Godzilla is the hero character in his own films. So this trailer was fantastic. I can't wait to see all of these creatures. I can't imagine what the actual plot line is. Like, I don't think Rodan's a bad guy. I don't think Mothra's a bad guy, but he might be. You know, I mean, Mothra's historically never been a bad guy, so I can't imagine that she would be evil in this film, and she's always the most close to humans, the closest that humans can talk to and communicate. She's always been on the side of humanity. So, but in the last film, Godzilla was on the side of humanity, you know, trying to keep these creatures from running amok. So I'm curious if that's what the case is going to be in this film too. But I would imagine that someone like Rodan probably throws down with King Ghidorah and loses. So But again, if it's all three of these creatures against Ghidorah, that might be kind of lame, because obviously Ghidorah is very powerful, but Godzilla should be the one, obviously, that takes him out. But I would hate for these characters to be introduced in this film and just get killed off in one film. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would hate for Rodan to... I guess I really don't give a shit about Rodan, if I'm being honest. So Rodan could die, but if Mothra gets killed, like, straight up killed off in this film, just to pave way so that, like, you see how powerful Ghidorah is before Godzilla gets a chance to throw down with him, then that'd be a shame, but... Anyways, that one got me the most hyped. I had no idea that trailer was dropping, so for it to drop and for it to be as massive as it was and to get me as hyped for a movie that I was already, excited for, but now it's an absolute must-see in theaters for me. Before it was just, I'll probably check that out, but now there's no way I'm not there day one for Godzilla King of the Monsters. So, Godzilla King of the Monsters, Godzilla King of San Diego Comic-Con 2018. How about that? I'm going to edit that out, I think. Nah, probably leave it. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, if you like what you saw here, click the video, click the like button below, click subscribe, share this amongst all your friends, and thanks for tuning into The Loud Bostonian.